Well, Walter, that story brings us to our conversation in Newsnight tonight, where we'll be talking about phone addiction. And I'm joined by Dr. Paul Nyende, who is an addiction expert.
Good evening, viewers.
Oh, okay, great. So, do we have that kind of problem in Uganda?
Yes, definitely we do. Very many people are attached to their phones. They are actually addicted to their phones.
What defines addiction?
I think it is excessive use of something, and in this case people may spend so much time on the phone that they cannot actually pay attention to important things they should be doing.
So I'm crossing the road, but I'm still on my phone. Is that a sign?
Definitely, that is a sign where you are compromising your own safety by crossing the road without paying attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I was doing some random reading. I don't have any statistics from Uganda. Might you have any statistics?
No, in Uganda we don't have statistics.
Okay, I thought so. So I did some random reading, and I read somewhere that the average person checks their phone 100 times a day, but an addict checks as much as 900 times a day. Is that even possible?
Yes, it is. I think there is an irresistible urge to check onto your phone, and you find that you can't pay attention to anything, and all the time you have to check to see whether there are messages. It goes as far as sensing a vibration and rush into the phone even when actually there is no vibration on the phone.
So you start to hear things that are not there, or feel them.
Sure.
At what point do you raise the red flag, either for yourself or for a friend or somebody who now you're beginning to think, okay, there might be a problem?
I think when you become very much obsessed by the phone and that you can't pay attention to anything or the world around you, you are absorbed in it. At the same time, when you experience mental health issues like depression,
yes,
especially if the phone fails to work and you feel very severely depressed, or there is no network, or you have no power to charge the phone and you're so frustrated and you feel you can't function, then you've crossed the line.
When you mention depression, I read also that most of the phone addicts completely cut themselves off from real life and limit interaction with people and other real life experiences. And then I thought of all the times you're scrolling through your phone, looking at these social media platforms, and you're seeing the lives of all these very interesting lives, and you start to compare with yours, and depression.
Well, yes, of course. I think you're exposed to too much, and sometimes you may feel that you are nowhere close to the people you are contacting. But also, of course, there are very many good things about the phone, but only that when you use something too much, it may have significant effect on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is there such a thing as treatment?
Yes, of course. I think the first thing should be to recognize that you have a problem. Secondly, if you're an adult, you need to begin taking steps. For example, put the phone away, turn the phone off, maybe when it's family time in the evening, make it a principle.
So when you're an addict, for example, like drug addicts, and I don't think it's as easy as I can just put away my phone and just keep to that discipline. How do I deal with that?
I think you must become the policeman or policewoman for yourself. You need to find a point and you say, stop, this is doing harm. Nobody can do it better than yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think one of the doctors in the story, Dr. Karanga, mentioned about children and phones, and we're seeing more and more that the children are getting access to phones at the age of 10 or even younger.
Sure.
Are we not setting ourselves up?
Well, they need to access the gadgets, of course. The gadgets have several advantages, and cognitive development also can be one of those. But we need to supervise them because they may get so much engaged in games. Games are very engaging, and that can do a lot of harm. Some of them are very frustrating when they get very hard, but also they can lead them into violence and depression and compulsive behavior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I also found out that so the fear of being without your phone is called nomophobia.
Yes.
Is there a relation to cancer when we're talking about excess use of the phone?
Well, nomophobia is not really related to cancer.
It's not related to cancer,
yeah.
but I just remembered that and I wanted to bring it out. But is there?
But studies show
yes,
that there is some risk of developing cancer.
Okay.
Yes, there is.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Paul Nyende, for taking the time to speak with us on Newsnight today.
You're welcome.
Well, let's move on to other news. Makerere University has launched investigations into claims that some unscrupulous business